Like when Beth read her diary.
Oh,
thing.
yeah. I did.
How could you not get that reference when we were just talking about Beth's diary and
I
you just
know.
made that exact same joke? Okay, whatever. Anyways, once again,
This is why I have coffee. Yes.
I want to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Fracture. Fracture gives you a way to get your pictures out of your computer or phone and beautifully displayed up on your wall where some of them belong, not all of them, but some of them, printed in vivid color directly on glass. And you can go to fractureme.com to find out more. That's fractureme.com and enter Deadcast to get 15% off your next order. I also want to let you know that I just was on a podcast called Post Show Recaps last night with Rob Sesternino.
Yeah. How'd that go?
And it was great. But now I feel like I'm about to have the exact same conversation with you that I had with him.
Do you really think that he'll say exactly what I say, really?
No, but I'm going to say exactly what I said. And
Okay.
it was a lot of fun. And Rob's a great guy. He was a Survivor contestant. He talks to a lot of Survivor people on his show. Rob has a podcast, but now he has this whole post show recaps thing going. So if you want to check that out, go to postshowrecaps.com.
He was on Survivor, huh? Do
Yeah.
you know what island?
Which one was it? I think it was Africa. I can't remember, but they always called him the smartest guy never to have won Survivor. So let's just get right into it today, okay?
Okay.
Here we go.
Attention shoppers, Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Karen has coffee today,
I
not beer.
think we should do that intro again. God.
Yeah, I can't. You can't. I don't want you pretending to laugh at my jokes. Not that you don't always do that. Let's see. Okay, so it's Deadcast Top 5 this week. It's our top 5 highlights for season 4, episode 10, I believe, which was called Inmates. Why was it called Inmates?
Because the irony is they are no longer at the prison.
Okay, yeah, they used to
That's
be
my
inmates,
guess.
and now they're all. There was a sign. Did you notice?
I did.
It said hitchhikers may be escaping inmates.
I'll
I
say.
think they have those signs.
They do.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen them outside of what's the big prison? Near Solvang, not Solvang.
Yeah.
Soledad.
Soledad, okay.
Yeah, I've seen them. Don't pick up hitchhikers. They could be
Around
escape
prisons.
conflicts. Wow, it's a good thing I have my coffee.
Should start drinking it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so that's crazy to think, but it reminded me of the hitchhiker that we saw a while back, and we saw his backpack in this episode. Did you notice?
No, I
Glenn had it on, the orange backpack,
didn't. Really?
Yeah.
Well spotted.
which is a little morbid, but I guess the people are used to using things that dead people used to own.
He gave Maggie a zombie finger wedding ring.
That's
so,
right.
He's all about recycling. Reuse, recycle.
He used to be a car thief too, so at least in the comic he did.
Really?
Yeah, Glenn. It doesn't fit, but
He's a pizza delivery guy in the
he
show.
was that too, I think,
Oh,
in the
okay.
comic. I'm not sure. Anyway, okay, so what'd you think?
I loved it.
You did?
I did.
I was thinking maybe you would not, because you wanted everybody to get back together right away. That was one of your
Yeah, I
wishes
know
for
I did.
season 4. And B, it was super depressing. Right?
No.
Well, no one died.
In a way, it wasn't depressing. In a way, I felt like it was really, it was really hopeful, because now we know a couple of key people
Yeah.
aren't dead. That's pretty hopeful.
That's
and
true. That's
in
true.
fact, everybody who we were worried about, they're still going. So, and then they all, I loved how it
You
kind
were
of-
worried about. I wouldn't say
I
we.
was worried about. And I like how all of their paths and their stories were sort of interwoven. It was as if they were existing in separate timelines, and they kept going over the same ground kind of at different times. It was really cool, I thought. I
It
liked
was like a series of vignettes.
Yeah.
And you mentioned last week, I think, that there were 2 writers for this episode, a team or
Yeah,
something.
there was.
So I wonder if one of them wrote 2 of those, or focused on 2, and one of them did the other 2. I bet you it was something like that.
Did it feel a little disjointed? Is that why you think that?
One of the listeners said that, actually, and I just stole it, but I actually didn't think that. Like, I liked it. I liked how they showed
Good.
vignette to vignette to vignette. Yeah, I thought it worked great.
I was really worried in this episode, and I was really happy to see Judith. I was really happy to see Carol. We'll get into that, but
If Judith had been suffocated by Lizzie, would that have made it more or less depressing?
I wouldn't put it past Lizzie, quite frankly.
She was
There's
ready
just
to go.
about nothing she won't suffocate.
Yeah, I guess let's hold off on that.
Yeah, okay.
Going over that
Yes,
one.
if I hold off on the Lizzie is a psycho talk.
So I gave it 4.5 gags. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I gave it 4.632.
We're pretty close. I thought maybe we were going to disagree on this one, but you're right. Come to think of it, everyone was alive and they're all depressed, but at least they're alive and they're all trying to find each other.
And another thing is that one of the themes of this episode is they kept coming back and mentioning Herschel and how Herschel was a believer and they've got to have faith and they got to believe. And so it was sort of about,
even though they shouldn't.
Things are really crappy, but they have faith still. It was great.
I mean, and then you listen to what happens, like the faith that Beth had 6 months ago. It made this seem so tragic, and I almost felt like the writers were messing with us, like, look how good it was and now how messed up it is. But
I love that.
Yeah, it was a good effect.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
I really enjoyed the whole journal thing.
Yeah.
All right, why don't you go first?
All right, so I'm going to go ahead with my number one, or my number 5, which is Lizzie, the psychopath that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And she's pretty freaking scary.
This is like the first, I mean, before she was friendly with the zombies and drawing nice pictures of them. So we knew she was a little like twisted, or, but you could sort of think, well, she's a kid and she knows that they used to be alive. And,
right.
I mean, trying to make sense of it all. But this one where she's got her hand on Judith's mouth, and even when Mika starts calling her name to say, hey, we got to do something here, she was sort of trancing out on this.
Yeah, she was.
That's like the first real, like, okay, she's got something wrong with her for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And it also makes me think that maybe she was the one who killed Karen and David.
If at this point, if she's not, it's kind of stupid. Like, okay, so we have the psycho girl and somebody else killed Karen and David. I mean, I guess it could still be Carol, but
it seems pretty obvious that she's the guy. And she also, put up the taxidermy art maybe. And by the way, nobody needs taxidermy art, just so you know.
I just do kind of feel like at this point, if they reveal it to be somebody else besides either Carol or Lizzie, that
it would have been
it's
screwing
kind of
with us.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think you're absolutely right. And by the way, Tyrese running off to the prison. I don't know who was screaming in the prison, who that could have been. It definitely wasn't.
No, they weren't at the prison. They were out in the middle
I know,
of a
but
clearing.
he heard screaming, and he's like, I think that's screaming coming from the prison.
He said they're coming from the prison, meaning the people who are screaming.
I see. They're coming from the prison. Yeah. I thought the screams, they're coming from the prison. Anyway, so he leaves.
There was a woman screaming.
He leaves the baby with the worst babysitter ever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, you two girls and the screaming child, you'll do fine here. Here's a gun. Take care of each other. Stand back to back. Okay, bye. And runs off. That'd
be fun. As soon as he runs off, like Lizzie's all, okay, I got to suffocate this baby.
Oh, bad Lizzie.
That scene, I always love when I feel something, even if it's anger. That made me feel like, I want to kill this kid right now.
I know.
Not the baby.
Not Judith. Yeah, thank you. I was screaming at the television. Mad. I was like, no, they're not going to do it.
I'm really scared they're going to actually have her do that.
I thought,
now.
I actually said to the television and poor David, I'm like, they can't kill a baby in prime time.
You're all, you can't do that. You're all, turn it off, David, turn it off. I quit.
I quit the show. No, turns out it was okay. Because thankfully, somebody came out of the bushes.
Yeah, and we didn't get to see that moment.
No, we did not.
But I'm assuming, I don't know why I'm assuming this, but I'm assuming that Lizzie saw Carol and took her hand off, but Carol didn't notice what Lizzie was doing. But who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, maybe Carol would have dispatched those zombies, so maybe that gave Lizzie enough of a jolt to get her out of her killer trance.
You never want a babysitter in a killer trance. No. You just don't.
I would not hire her as a babysitter.
No, she's kicked out of babysitter club.
But I thought, people are complaining about those two girls acting. I thought Lizzie actually did really well this time. What do you think? No?
I thought she was a believable psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she had this steely, almost bored look. Like she said, is everybody dead? Like, come on, is everybody dead or what? And she's like, tuck your shirt and back behind your knife. We got this.
Right.
Just really cold and steely.
No.
And then she said, you're not like Sasha. She's not here. She's dead.
She's dead. She's dead, Tyrese.
Right. And Tyrese is like, oh, that
Thanks,
Lizzie.
kid.
Hate that kid.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, right. You just stay here. I'm going to go investigate that. Screaming. I'll be right back. I promise.
All right.
Like, gets out. Thank God. I don't have to take care of that kid anymore. No one's ever going to know.
I was trying to be a hero. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, the screams are coming from that way, Tyrese. Oh, sorry. And then when she was my number 5 too, Lizzie. And when the baby was crying when Tyrese was still there, and they're like, you got to keep her quiet. It reminded me of the last episode of MASH. Did you see that?
No.
I guess I can spoil this since it was like 30 years ago.
Yeah, I think you're okay.
But Hawkeye was on a bus, the main guy, Alan Alda.
Yeah.
And he I think he was talking to a shrink about this, so it was in flashbacks. And this woman had a chicken, and it kept clucking, and there were like enemy soldiers nearby, and so they made her suffocate her chicken. Yeah. But then it turned out that he was remembering that wrong, and it was actually her baby. Yeah. That's why people say the last episode of MASH was really heavy. And it was like the most watched episode of TV drama before or since. But anyway,
I remember because I did see it a long, long time ago. I don't remember that exactly. I remember him in a boat in a pond with a bunch of body parts all around him.
Poor Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was made to go through the 3-year Korean War for like 8 or 9 years. Because of that show.
Alan Ellis doing just fine.
That was a great show, by the way. Okay, so that was my number 5 too. Your turn.
Phew, okay, my number 4, following along chronologically, Carol. Never more happy to see her. Thank God she came when she did. And I also liked her reunion with Tyrese. I like the fact that it was a really kind of an awkward reunion. I was like, oh, they're gonna be so stoked to see each other, and he was really happy to see her, and she was like, okay, are you gonna kill me? Do you know?
Right.
And then he reminded us, he's like, oh, you made it out of the prison. He reminded us that actually hasn't been that long since Carol was in the prison. It's only been like a couple days or something. It really
even though Judith looks like she's about 4 months older to me. Did she look like that to you? She looked older to me.
Yeah,
they got an older baby.
Yeah, and at some points, by the way, that's been it was a doll in some of the scenes, according to the Talking Dead.
Okay.
Yeah. So Carol. Yeah, I love it, and I love the fact that maybe she saved Judith unintentionally, but hooray, Carol's back.
Right.
So that was a happy thing.
We'll get to it, but one of the listeners pointed out that it's ironic that Rick banished Carol from the group because he didn't want her around his kids, and then she ends up being the one that maybe saved his daughter.
That is ironic. Well spotted. Well noted.
So I thought, when I heard the scream that you mentioned a second ago, I thought that maybe that was Carol, and it turns out I don't think it was. I was a little confused at first whether she was with those people, but I don't think so. I think she just happened to come upon it at the same time. Mm-hmm. So do you think she's been on her own this whole time?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
And she mentioned that...
But it hasn't been that long. I mean, when we say this whole time, it's really only been a couple days.
Was that right? Because Rick left her, and then I don't remember, they went on their run and he left her there. And I don't remember how much time passed between that run and when the governor came. Is there any way for us to know that?
Yeah.
How much time passed?
Yeah, I think he came back, and I want to say it was either that day or the next day the governor came.
Oh.
So it really hasn't been...
tell us how much time has passed.
I think we knew that it was pretty short. Maybe the chat stars know.
Well, you're probably right because I think you're right because they were gonna when he came back without Carol, he saw Daryl, and he told Daryl, and then they were going to go tell Tyrese, and then they heard the explosion. So I think it was immediately. I think you're right. And so he doesn't know, and she kind of shrunk away. But the interesting thing is that she said that she saw them running away from there. She told Tyrese that. Now, she didn't see the whole thing happen, but she saw them running away. So she must have been relatively close by.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe she heard the explosion and all the gunfire and saw the fire. Maybe she could have been really far away and she saw the burning prison.
Yeah. Because on Rob's show last night, somebody asked whether they thought Carol had been scouting out the prison this whole time, but it turns out it was just immediately after.
It was pretty quickly after, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so that's it on Carol, huh? My number 4 is the journal and Beth.
Yeah.
And I thought it was very bittersweet to hear her speaking all positively and saying you should write down your wishes and make them come true, and we can live here for the rest of our lives. Some of the people live there for the rest of their lives. T-Dog.
Their short lives, yes.
But it was a very, effective device to have her reading that, I thought.
As they were running, and there were some scenes that were in slow motion, and you could really see the two of them, how the juxtaposition of her talking about, hey, you know what, we can relax, I've got my own bed, and then she's running in the forest from the zombies, and they're killing them, and they're trying to escape, and finally, out of exhaustion, they collapse in the meadow. And then the vultures are circling overhead at the very end. That
was
sad.
Weird. Jenny noticed that too, that they were running, and then they both just fell down at the same time.
Yeah.
It looked like they were like, okay, we got to rest, but it's like, okay, let's rest. In the middle of the field.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was cool. I thought the camera work and the music was especially good in this episode. I thought I noticed. If I had more time, I would have pulled more little musical spots, because there was some sad music when Glenn was looking at Maggie's picture, and then there was some really creepy music other times. I think it's just that stuff's just getting better and better.
I agree. By the way, does it seem like there's all just forest and woods in Georgia?
Yeah, because it's cheaper to
right?
film, I think, is why.
Yeah.
And so it makes me wonder if this spinoff is going to be in some other nature preserve or something like that. So
The Walking Dead, Yellowstone.
I just wanted to a little bit more on Beth. So Beth was talking about faith, like you said, and trying to draw strength from her dad.
Yeah.
And I thought about how she tried to kill herself in season 2. And I was wondering, maybe she'll try to kill herself again. But she was the one trying to tell Daryl, come on, we got to keep going. We got to look for people. They're still alive. Have faith. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe she feels like she already made that decision. She was going to kill herself, and then she decided, no, I'm going to live. And there was already bad stuff happening then. So she's already set
Gone
in that
past
direction.
It.
Yeah. But then she said at the end of her journal, I think they read more from her journal later on in the episode. She's like, if this doesn't work out, I don't know how I'm going to keep moving on or something like that. So that made me wonder, maybe that suicidal stuff will come back. At this point, it's almost feels to me like there would be more people killing themselves if you'd been driven off that farm and you'd then been blasted out of the prison and you saw so many people die and it was just danger all around. I think there'd be at least 1 or 2.
I think Tara was on the verge of it when Glenn found her. Yeah, she had a full magazine clip and the gun, and she was looking around thinking, you know what, and she even said to Glenn, she's like, I'm the cause of this. I was part of what happened here, and because of that, my sister's dead, my niece is dead, and we believed that awful man.
I didn't catch that. And Glenn saved her life just then.
Yeah, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure she would have been like, okay, there's a bullet with my name on it.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, So sad. Things are rough in the zombie apocalypse. Can they find a little peace?
It makes me appreciate my life a little bit more.
Yes. There are no zombies chasing us down. Hallelujah.
Most of the time. Yeah. Okay.
All right. My number three is, as I mentioned, a couple of people I was very happy to see this episode, and one of them was little baby Judith. And I just love her. She's adorable. And I like how they had this great reveal where, it's Lizzie and Mika, and you see the two of them, and you're like, oh shit.
Tyrese is facing the other way.
They don't have the baby. Oh crap. I was really counting on them having the baby. And then Tyrese, turns around, and there is little Judith. And I was really
That was a
happy
great
about
reveal. The only thing that kind of actually totally ruined it for me was listener Victor sent me a picture of that. An email. Don't send me spoilers. I don't want to know that stuff. I know he probably.
But thanks
is
for
like,
writing in, Victor.
You want to know? You want to be in the know. He's probably like that. But I don't know. I don't want to know that
we
stuff.
want to be surprised.
Yeah, I want to be surprised.
Yeah, I didn't realize how.
But I love you, Victor.
Yeah, we love you. Boy, crying is such a liability. You don't think about it, but making noise is rough in the zombie apocalypse. And that little baby, she's just a little baby. And there's only so much formula you can cram in her head hole,
I mean, I feel like that with Nico sometimes. Like, shut up!
And just cram formula in his head hole.
Who was it? I think it was one of the listeners, or no, it was actually Gracie Lou. She told me that she thinks, how like Tyrese had a wound,
yes,
and I think Mika accidentally cut. That was why there was blood on Judith's car seat, because it was from his wound, I guess.
Oh, that makes sense. Nicely thought out there, Gracie.
Okay, my turn.
Yeah.
My number 3 is what the hell happened with Glenn. So Glenn, we see him, last we saw him, he was on the bus.
Yeah.
And now he's asleep on the prison bridge.
Well, he wasn't on the bus. Last we saw him, he was on the step of the bus. So he was on the bottom step of the bus.
Not technically all the way on the bus.
Not all the way on the bus. And so I'm like, you know what? If my husband went left, I would be like, get off the bus and step
your
down.
Husband? Oh, but you're saying his wife.
Yeah, because Maggie was on the bus, and then she said, "Where's Beth?" And then she went to go find Beth, and then he's like, you know what? I better go and see if I can help. I mean,
that's probably what happens.
That's his instinct, yeah.
Okay. Well, they should have shown that then. I mean, I don't know.
Didn't they?
No, they didn't show. They showed Glenn getting on the bus.
Yes,
and then the
Maggie
next time we see Glenn, he's
right.
asleep on the bridge. So what I'm saying is what happened in between there. And you just explained a really good possibility that he went back for Maggie.
Yeah. He wasn't going to leave without her.
And then, so that makes sense. So what happened on the bus?
Oh, that's a good question. I was thinking about that. And I was like, wow, he made the right call not being on that bus, the bus of doom. Who knows? Yeah. I mean, maybe somebody died on the bus, got like a bullet wound, and maybe they passed out and died and turned, and people couldn't escape in time.
People were like, what? Maybe there's a zombie on the bus. What should we do? Just sit tight.
I saw a little graphic today that it was a zombie reaching out of the bus. You know how out the window of the bus, and it said, "The wheels on the bus go rah rah." Wait,
rah, 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 rah. That's awesome. I love that. The bus reminded me of the scene in Lost when all the flaming arrows come and kill all the log carrying people. It's like, we don't need these guys anymore. Just stick them all on a bus. And so I think that's the end of the Woodburyans.
Unless a couple of them escaped.
Yeah, because for some odd reason, Beth, when she was looking at footprints, she's like, maybe that's Luke or Molly.
Right.
And it was like, why would you see a footprint and name two people we've never heard of based on a footprint? It looks like Molly's foot, or maybe Luke's.
She is so observant.
Because Molly and Luke both had Uggs or something.
Right. She's an expert tracker.
But so it's like, thinking of the Woodburyans, it's like, I guess Rick didn't do such a nice thing by bringing them all there. because now they're dead.
Because now they're dead.
And
they would have been
when
dead
they
anyway.
showed up on their bus, well, it just so happens that all the main characters are alive and all the Woodburyans are dead. I don't know if they would have been dead. I guess they would have, because the governor would have come back and probably torched them all.
I think there's a couple of Woodburyans that escaped the bus.
Maybe. But still, it's like when I saw them come on the bus or come to the prison,
Yeah.
I was like, this is touching and nice of Rick, but I know they're just bringing him in to be
kill
zombie
them.
fodder, and they were.
Yeah, they absolutely were. Many, many, many times.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I know. So more with Glenn. So
Sure.
I thought it was interesting that he grabbed Herschel's watch. They keep bringing that back. That I loved him bursting out of this smoky prison in his riot gear.
Looking like RoboCop. I loved it. I thought it was so great. It was very cartoony and awesome.
It was, but it wasn't like totally out of place. But yeah, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And he was all Rambo'd up. And then I liked him cruising through the zombies, and then I liked that he fell down exhausted at the end because he was just sick.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Well, yeah. Then I was wondering, okay, so in the prison, yes, so he's going around, he's looking for Maggie. I think he realized she wasn't there.
Everybody's gone.
He decides to sleep because he probably just feels so exhausted from being sick. That's what I thought. Or maybe he was thinking, I don't even know if I can go on.
Yeah.
Then he sees her picture and he decides, all right, I'm going to gather a bunch of supplies and go out and look for her. That's basically what happened, right?
Yep. I think so.
And he had the orange backpack on, which was kind of morbid.
And the riot gear, which we love. And I kept saying to the television loudly, poor David, by the way, God, the things he has to put up with. I kept saying, come on, Glenn, you used to escape from Atlanta all the time. I mean, he did. He was an expert. You could do it. Come on. I mean, I know it would have been easier if he wasn't still in recovery mode. But he was he was badass. Even though he was in recovery mode, he was still pretty awesome. And how sweet that he stopped and got Tara. He didn't have to stop and get her. At that point, he had a sort of a free shot out of the prison, but he stopped and got her. And I think
he felt like he needed her. At least that's what he said.
He needed her, and he knew that she needed him because he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, he found out that her people killed Herschel, and it looked like he was sort of considering, oh, that's fucked up. Should I kill her or should I leave her? Nah. She's obviously not happy about what just happened, and it was the governor's doing, and I need her anyway. I think that's what was going on in his head.
Right. Yeah. I like the fact that she was pretty upfront with how remorseful she felt.
And she had that look in her eye like, I was just going to kill myself over here.
Yeah. But he's like, okay, we need each other. And this is your chance to redeem yourself. Help me find my wife. And it was great.
And I did keep thinking over and over again, well, if you'd had a plan to meet in case something like this happened, and I guess we wouldn't have a show right now. So.
No, we wouldn't. That's not how Kirkland wrote it.
But at this point, it seems pretty ridiculous. Like, you got kicked off the farm, and now the prison, maybe next time you'll find a place to meet somewhere.
By the way, when Maggie was looking at the dead zombie or the dead person on the bus at the very, very end, did you think it was Glenn?
No, I didn't, because I saw the scenes from next week, and there was Glenn saying, Maggie. And I was like, you idiots, why did you put that in there? If anybody from AMC's listening. Right?
There was scenes from next week that you already saw?
Yeah, at the end of the episode, when they do scenes from next week, coming up next week on Walking Dead.
But that's the end of the episode. I'm talking about during the episode when
last week, at the end of the episode, they showed Glenn saying, Maggie.
Oh, so you knew he wasn't dead.
Yeah. And, I
didn't even put two and two together.
I was chatting with Mr. Blog about that, and he was saying, oh, I don't agree with that because I saw that too, but I thought it could have been a flashback. Oh. And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't think that. And we got emails from several listeners who said the same thing. Like, I didn't think that was Glenn because of that. I kind of thought maybe, but not really. And then that coupled with I don't think they would have Glenn die off screen,
right?
So I didn't think it was him at all.
Right. There's the look on her face, and I was like, she looks upset. Oh, no, those are tears of joy.
Yeah.
She's laughing at the dead guy.
So, where are we? You're number 2.
My number 2. So, this was a surprise. I don't, is the word hillbilly kind of
Kosher.
a bad word?
I think it's okay.
You think it's okay?
I don't know.
Well, there's new bad hillbillies in our life, and they've pulled up in this Jeep
Yeah.
tank thing, and at the end, it was actually, I thought, pretty hilarious when Tara's like,
Hey.
I hope
what'd
you
say?
assholes had
Enjoyed the show.
Enjoyed the show,
You know what
right.
Rob said?
What?
Okay, have you seen House of Cards?
No.
Okay, in House of Cards, Kevin Spacey plays a politician,
Yeah.
and he's always turning to the camera and breaking the fourth wall and talking to us. And he's been watching that, doing post-show recaps. So when he saw Tara, I watched again, she looks right at the camera for a little while. He thought, oh my God, she's going to say something right to us. And then she goes, hey, assholes, did you enjoy the show?
Yeah.
And he's like, I liked it, but it's kind of rude. I thought that was hilarious.
It's funny. Yeah.
You know why? Don't talk to me like that. So those guys are right out of the comic. Although we don't know if they'll be the same, but
I heard that that issue number 53, that the front cover
is that same?
Those 3 people posed exactly like
I
that.
didn't know that.
The cover was identical to that shot, and that was really important for Scott Gimple. And so I saw that on The Talking Dead. I don't know that because I don't have the comics. And
okay.
so he posed.
That's great.
He posed them exactly like the cover of issue 53. So if you have issue 53, look it up and then do a screenshot from
I've got it right over there.
So
Wait a
yikes.
minute. Let me go grab it.
Okay. Yeah, that's the pose. That's the pose. There they are. Oh my God.
So that's Abraham, Eugene, and Rosita.
I wonder if that's going to be okay. So I don't know anything about these people. You obviously do.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say a word.
Good.
But it was interesting. I mean, Abraham said, what did he say? You got a damn mouth on you. You know that? What else you got?
I got a lot of other. We've got 5 fingers.
Yeah, buddy, I got a knuckle sandwich.
That's right. She was wasn't she a police trainee? Didn't she go to the police academy?
Did that end up being a lie? I can't remember. Yeah, maybe that was it. She said she was a police officer, but it turns out she was just in the academy, which is something.
Yeah.
Still, but I don't think she's going to do shit against him. They have guns.
Yeah, I don't think she really is in a position to.
But they have guns, though,
backtalk
right?
him.
Yeah.
I think so. I think he had a gun. Hey.
No. I mean, Glenn and Tara have guns.
Yeah, but
What's a gun going to do against a guy like that?
So that was my number 2. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Carol, which we already talked about.
Yes, and my number 1 is actually Glenn, which we already talked about.
Okay, my number 1 is Terminus. Good name for a safe place in the zombie apocalypse.
No, crap name.
Terminus.
Actually. I thought about that too. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Sorry about my language. Please bleep that out.
Sanctuary for all, community for all. Those who arrive survive. I don't trust rhymes for one thing. I don't believe that. Terminus. And you expect them to just please step off this plank into this pit and you will arrive at Terminus.
At Terminus. Enjoy. That sounds like they're going to be made into Soylent Green.
I know.
Thank you for providing my dinner. We're glad you're at our barbecue. I agree. And do you trust, though, the dying man on the railroad tracks?
I don't know.
Dying on the railroad tracks.
I didn't get that. He's like, okay, my mistake was being in the woods, because you're supposed to go on the track to get to the safe place. So had he been to the place before, or had he just heard about it?
I think he heard about it. There's a safe place up the track.
He knew to go on the tracks, but he decided to go to the woods. Mm-hmm. I would go on the tracks anyway. And
yes.
I mean,
it's going to run into a town.
Yeah, they say don't go on the tracks because you might be too visible, but the zombies are slow. I'd rather be able to see more myself than be among a lot of hiding places where I could be hiding. Right. Anyway, God. I don't know if I think he seemed believable. At least he thought what he was saying was true.
Yeah, I mean, why lie? You're dying.
And then they're like, and what got me was they were, actually, I'm stealing this from Rob, but they like the zombie bit the guy and then he gives them some helpful information. We'll see if it's helpful. And they're like, okay, bye. And they just walk away and he's just sitting there like suffering and he's going to turn into a zombie and have eternal torment.
Little help here.
Yeah. Could you just
Could you just
chop my
end
head
my
off really
misery
quick?
now? Would that be all right? I mean,
quick
little
favor.
help. I just told you about the sanctuary.
Come on.
I'm okay. Just a flesh wound.
A little quick mercy.
You're looking delicious.
Okay, let's see what. I have some notes.
Me too.
Okay, you go first.
Okay, one is I loved it when Maggie went all nutso on the zombie by the school bus. She smashes the zombie's head in against the school bus a bunch of times, and then she said, "I'm sorry." that was my zombie kill of the week.
Oh, mine was Tyrese just hacking that one guy's head apart with his hammer. Just a little chunk of it, a big chunk would come off with each hit.
And I believe that is a ball peen hammer.
Yeah, that he's famous for that in the comic.
Is he?
Yeah, that's
Ew.
his weapon of choice.
Wow.
Sasha tending to Bob seemed a little intimate, and I wonder if it seems like they're hinting at a relationship among those two. Don't you think? No?
I don't know. He seemed pretty happy. He was like, "Oh, she's
I'm
happy."
getting the rub down.
Sasha's like, "Fine, you can smile."
Let's see what else. So Tara said she saw a zombie swarm her sister in a field.
Yeah.
We didn't see that.
We didn't. That was maybe off camera for Tara's eyes only.
Is she dead?
Lily.
Is she really dead?
I think she's dead.
I don't want
think
her to
it's-
be dead.
Oh, you really?
Yeah.
You think it was enough that she finished off the governor and then you think that redeems her and now she can be part of the group?
What does she have to be redeemed for?
She trusted the governor.
So did Andrea.
I know.
And she's dead.
Well, Andrea didn't trust the governor to.
I never thought she needed to be redeemed because she went there to kill the governor. I mean, she trusted his BS, yeah, but she never
Actually
went along with anything bad.
She questioned his BS
Yeah.
more than anybody else.
Yeah,
I take it back.
exactly.
Yeah.
You just don't like her because she thinks she's boring. So she might as well die. No, I'm just kidding.
Really?
I don't know why. I mean, you never seemed to like her when she was on screen. You're like, I don't care about her.
I didn't.
So Daryl, he was interesting. He just was pretty quiet and kind of sullen.
Yeah, and I think Beth did all. I don't think he said one. Well, maybe he
did. I was thinking, maybe he doesn't have any dialogue, but he said
does.
a few things, but not much.
No.
Tyrese, I thought it was interesting to see him as a babysitter, and that he, of course, is now hanging out with Karen's killer, whether that's Carol or Lizzie.
Yes.
So that'll
He
be
doesn't know that.
interesting to see what happens
Let's hope
there.
he doesn't find out.
I thought it was interesting that Bob was playing kind of the romantic optimist to Sasha's sort of practical pessimist.
Yeah.
And he seemed more like a sad sack up until now. So I thought that was kind of perplexing for
Maybe
his
Chaos
character.
agrees with him.
Yeah, I mean, he did say that I think in 2 or more groups that he was in before, he was the last one. So he's like, I feel right at home now.
You know,
Everybody's dying.
did you ever see that movie Melancholia?
No, I never did.
A giant meteor is headed for Earth. That's the premise at the
And
beginning.
it's, what's her name? Spider-Man's girlfriend.
Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah. Mhm.
And she's a kind of sort of a depressive gal, but cheers right up when the Earth is doomed. And she's like, I totally agreed with her. This really bad situation, completely.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And how she handled it.
It's interesting how people react to things sometimes.
And so maybe this was like, you know what, I can handle this. Maybe Bob actually has some coping mechanisms that are enviable.
yeah, that would make him, instead of poorly written, a consistent character. But, we don't know a lot about him yet
No, we
either.
don't.
So
No.
I thought it was interesting. And that's all I got to say about it.
That's all
You
I've
too?
got to say.
All right.
A obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens.
The people it kills get up and kill.
Are they slow-moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
This is a Walking Deadcast news update.
So first item, there's a movie called Zombievers, and it's like a cross between zombie beavers and like this lake with these like scantily clad women, and there's all these beaver jokes and stuff, and it's done by
Are there actual
like the
beavers?
producers of Cabin in the Woods or something.
Yeah. Are there? I can't wait. Actually,
that. Zombie beavers.
I actually saw. No, I can't. Now, now every time I say beaver, you're not going to think the right thing. I actually saw a beaver this weekend. In
Really?
Napa, in the river.
Interesting.
See, I can't even say it. I saw the rodent of standard size, a beaver.
Standard size. Standard size. That's good. Okay, so just like making a dam or something?
Yeah, it was swimming all around. It was really cool. I was running
Interesting.
along the river in the morning, and there's a beaver.
That's
Never
interesting.
mind.
Just did you see any other rodents? Okay, next, at Wizard World New Orleans Comic Con, former Doctor Who star Matt Smith was asked what other currently popular show he would like to be on if he had his choice. His answer, Zombievers. No, just kidding. His answer was, I love The Walking Dead. That would be cool.
Really?
Yeah, but everybody wants to. And, you know, I don't know if it works to have established actors on the show. I mean, who cares? They can do that if they want. But it would be weird. Like, the only recognized actors that have been on the show that I've been like, oh, I've seen him in something else, were John Bernthal.
Yeah.
Because I saw him play a kind of a douchebag in some other TV show. And Michael Cudlitz now, who plays Abraham, although we haven't seen much of him yet. But I told you last week, he's the guy who was in Grosse Pointe Blank as the bully.
Yeah.
Who had a poem. But nobody else that I can think of, except some of the zombies. Nah, not really, though.
Dale. Who's the actor?
Oh,
Dale?
yeah. I
was on The
hadn't
Mist.
seen him. I mean, so was Andrea, but I guess we saw The Mist because of the show. I never
Yeah.
would have seen it otherwise.
Me too.
But anyways, it would be
Oh, no,
weird
Andrew
to
Lincoln.
suddenly. I'd never seen Love Actually. It's just because I've never seen any movies.
I have a confession to make. I hate Love Actually.
Oh, you do?
I do.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
Oh my god, I can't stand
And
it.
some people
Pick it apart. And I
including
know
some of our listeners.
Some of our
love
listeners
it.
really love Love Actually, and good for you. You love love. Good for you. And it's not that I hate love. I love love. But
You just don't like Love Actually.
I hate Love Actually.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to watch it then.
You might love it.
No.
You might
I
love
don't
it.
want to watch it now. No matter what anyone says. Okay, next, Norman Reedus had an interview in Men's Journal. They asked him why Daryl never runs out of arrows. He seemed to get a little miffed at that question. He's like, they go on runs and they probably go back to places and collect arrows that they've already used.
Yeah.
They don't show that. He goes, we go to the bathroom too. They don't show that. And he's like, he said people in Georgia hunt a lot, so there's a lot of arrows.
There are
around.
a lot of
Okay,
arrows.
leave me alone. Then he talked about some of the crazy things he's seen from his fans. He says, quote, I've seen Daryl tattooed on maybe 1,000 people.
Oh my god.
I've been asked to put my breath in a bottle and
Ew.
seal it up.
Ew.
I've had babies named after me. All mine. No, just kidding. I had that part. He said there was one lady who asked me for an autograph and she pulled a chicken out of her shirt. She wanted me to hold her chicken. Whatever.
And then he pulled out his
His chicken.
I was going to say the male version of chicken.
Okay, let's not go there. Come on. We already had. What is this? Although, okay.
You gotta admit that was easy.
Yeah. I still don't know what you're talking about. So, they said that, you know, his character's popular and everything and everybody loves him. But during the early days, Daryl Dixon was going to be a racist like Merle. And Reedus wasn't happy with that because then he wouldn't get all these people giving him chickens if he was an asshole on the show. So he said, I was written very fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I said, I don't want to do that. I don't want to take drugs. I want to have grown up in that environment and then been embarrassed of it. And at first I was kind of critical of that. Like, oh, you just want everyone to like you. But I think if he had been just a racist drug addict, that he probably would have been off the show by now and just a footnote in the show instead of this big character that he is.
And I think sometimes when you have an older sibling who is into drugs, it makes
Yeah.
you not want to do them. And
I know my younger brother, he hates drugs. Just kidding.
and I understand where, and he still is a really complicated character. He has a lot of depth to him. He's very damaged.
Yeah, he's
So
good. Yeah, he's good.
He's
yeah.
not a one-dimensional person.
Mm-hmm.
He's super damaged, and you know, he took a long time to get to where he's at right now.
But I still do feel a little critical of that because he's a great character, but he's damaged in the same way as like James Dean and Fonzie, like the poor brooding guy that you just really wish would sleep with you, basically. You know what I mean? Like
no.
it's a sexy kind of damage. Okay, you don't feel that way, but millions of other women do.
Yes, that's true.
And it's the kind of like James Dean, you know,
Yeah.
that kind of, oh man, he's so hot, but he's just so bad, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Instead of like, ooh, what an asshole, which is what he would have been if he would have done it the way it was written.
Then he's just a copycat of Merle. He's just a carbon copy of his older brother.
That's
and
right.
I think it's better to make them different and more
Touche.
realistic.
Yep. Okay. Can't argue that. All right. Next is also he told the Wrap that he has no idea when Daryl would die, but he said that Daryl has a pretty big episode lined up for later in this season. So that's cool because he hasn't had much to do this season, I don't think.
No, and not a whole heck of a lot with Beth. So he sat there basically.
Do you think Beth and Daryl, Death and Beryl, would be a good couple? She's 18 on the show.
So she's of age.
Mm-hmm.
What do I know? I'm not much of a shipper.
I don't think so. I know it's twisted, and I said this on Rob's show too, but I want to see Beth with Carl.
Carl.
Yeah.
Carl. Yeah, he's not of age yet. She'd be quite the cougar for him.
I think Daryl would go better with Michonne, even though I want to see Michonne with Rick. I'm totally getting into this whole shipper
really
thing. Huh?
Shipper.
I just that
know
was like
what?
10 seconds out of the 134 hours that we've been podcasting.
True. And I'd double that 134, by the way. And by the way, I saw Daryl pull an arrow out of a dead guy's skull in this episode. So
he's not lying.
he's recycling like they all do.
This is slightly spoilery, not really, but kinda. So, and then this is the last item. So, executive producer Gail and Hurd on Access Hollywood, they asked, one of the things you guys had in the most recent episode was flashbacks, which we haven't seen in a really long time. Whose idea was that? He said it was a discussion that Kirkman and Scott Gimple had. It was something we were always planning to do. We just needed to find the right timing. I also think it can be frustrating if every episode has significant flashbacks and then it becomes a trope or a crutch. But I don't think it's the last of the flashbacks you'll see. So she's saying there will be more.
Oh.
Which is cool. I like that.
Yeah, it is good.
And I agree. I wouldn't want him to do it every episode. And you get the feeling that they are really trying not to repeat themselves now, like
Yes.
in different ways, not only with story but structure. Like this whole voiceover of the journal, that's kind of different.
Yeah.
You know, they do different things. I like that. They asked, now obviously the fans of the show would be curious if that could potentially mean the return of some of the beloved actors. She says, I can't talk about that. So maybe Shane in a flashback or something, or Andrea. She says, Gail, who would you be in the apocalypse? Which of the characters do you most associate with? She says, each season of each episode, it changes. Right now, I think I'd want to be Michonne. She's great with a sword and she's embraced her humanity. And then they say, who were you in season 1? I guess in season 1, if I go back to my childhood, I was probably Carol in the sense that I was fairly meek and really didn't speak up for myself and gradually started to change and become much more of a person who is capable of leading.
Aww.
That's cool.
That is nice.
All right. Well, that's it for the news. So let's take a little break. There's more to come. Stay with us.
Stay with us.
right, we're back and it's time to talk Fracture. Fracture is our sponsor again this week. They let you upload your digital photos and then they send it back to you printed on glass.
Yeah.
And it looks beautiful. And you can get your own with a 15% discount by going to fractureme.com and use promo code DEADCAST. And I was thinking, I was talking about this, like you hide your pictures away and no one sees them. But I do post pictures to Facebook. And I also have a Tumblr where I post pictures of Nico that some friends and family can see. But even with that, it's nice to have them up on your walls.
Yeah.
Because then it's sort of like, how do I want my home to feel? You know, like I have my zombie up there. But you can get a fracture of a zombie. And so, I put a couple of these up in a room, and it just makes the room feel instantly warmer and more personal to have something that you're proud of from your life or something like that. And, people used to do that a lot more, but now they just show pictures on their phone. But this is super easy to do. You just go to the website, upload it, and then they send it to you and it's all ready to hang. They even have the little screw that you hang it with embedded in the packaging.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
So it's so simple, and it like you don't have to get a frame or have it framed, and it's more unique than that. So it feels kind of special like that. And when I first saw this and I saw the packaging and everything, it's all modern looking and spare and kind of artistic. And I thought Steve Jobs would have liked this thing. Yeah, I've heard he is notoriously famous for being really picky about all the objects in his house when he was alive.
Right.
I imagine his family probably got really annoyed with him, like taking 6 months to pick out the perfectly designed dishwasher and things like that.
Right.
But I really think that he would have loved these pictures. I got the one I showed Karen last week right here with Nico.
Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so cute.
So I gave these out as Christmas presents this year to my mom, my grandmother, and my aunts. And it was amazingly great because it was so easy to do. And I didn't have to, these days it's hard to figure out what to get people. But anyone would love this. And they had the same reactions kind of like you did. And I imagine a lot of people do. Their first reaction is, oh, that's a great picture. They just react to what the picture is. And then they start looking at it and they're like, how'd you do this? Then they notice that it's an interesting presentation, not just the picture itself. So anyways, you and I are getting more of these in the mail soon. Fracture is giving us one free, and I got Nico behind the wheel of a sailboat driving it. I got another Nico one to give my mom, and a little small one of our podcast art, a square.
Cool.
Walking Deadcast. I thought of that because one of the other guys I've heard advertise for this, Marco Arment, he makes iPhone apps, and he got all his iPhone apps fracturized and he put them up on the wall, icons.
Great.
Yeah, so that's cool. I can't wait to get that. And you got, what'd you get? Grapes from?
Grapes and a grapevine, a really beautiful grapevine picture that I took in Israel. And we wanted to put something in our house from all of our trips so that we have a little remembrance of all of our trips that we've taken. And that was from the one that I picked out from Israel.
So hopefully we'll get that before one of our next couple ads, and then we can talk about what they're like. But before I finish, I just wanted to let you know I've gotten a few emails already from some of you guys saying, just the picture that you're going to use for this. So thanks for sending those. We even got to see a couple of them. And the rest of you, if you decide to get one, it'd be cool if you'd write in and show us what picture you're going to do, or just tell us about it, because I'm really curious. You can get these done in various sizes, from very small to very big, and you can do squares or rectangles or custom sizes. So go to fractureme.com and enter DEADCAST for 15% off. And thank you to Fracture for your support.
Thanks, Fracture.
All right, let's move along to listener moans, groans, and grunts. Want to go first?
Sure. This first email comes from listener Daniel Scary? Sherry? Scary? Who knows? I have no idea. He writes, really had to suspend my disbelief during the entire sequence with Glenn and Tara. Glenn just plows through a ton of walkers, and Tara is just hanging out behind a fence, and no walkers are trying to eat her. I mean, come on. Well, show has still been great for 3 straight episodes. P.S. After Tara's first episode, I wrote saying that I hated her and her cheesy Resident Evil type one-liners, but now that she has dropped the BS facade, I really like her. P.P.S. Did Tara confirm her sister is dead? It sounded like it, but I thought I heard that the actress may return down the road. Oh.
On this show, at times, people have thought someone was dead and it turned out not to be true. So that could be the case. But she did say that. Yeah, she said she saw her swarmed.
She
by
might be
zombies.
returning as a zombie. I wouldn't be surprised.
Could be. I thought she was a little annoying in this episode, to tell you the truth. I don't know why, but just something about the way she acted. Tara.
You're entitled to your opinion.
You didn't think so?
Not at all. No, I think she looked all sad and remorseful, and then she got on board with Glenn, and she wants to, ride the redemption train. Good for her.
And then Glenn plowing through a ton of walkers. Yeah, I thought that was a little unbelievable, but nah, I don't know.
He's got mad skills.
Yeah. I liked it.
And Riker.
I liked it.
Mad skills and Riker.
I wondered that too. I was sort of thinking, man, that's a lot of pressure for one guy, but he's spunky and
they're very weak at this
wiry.
point.
Except for when they rip through Dale's guts.
Right. Then
Which
they're
would take an incredibly strong person.
Then they're very, very dexterous.
Okay, so the next one is from Stuart Kearns, and it's actually a graphic that I thought was funny. It's a picture of Lizzie framed in bunnies. It says Lizzie's babysitting service in this really girly font, and a speech balloon from her says, "Are you smothered by responsibility? Little one got you feeling imprisoned? Don't look back. Let me help. Why choose Lizzie for your childcare needs? You won't find a kid who charges less. Really, you won't. Trust me. I'm not weak, messed up maybe, but not weak." We have story time with Carol every Tuesday. I'm the only sitter with the no cry guarantee. And Mika says, "Don't get in a tizzy. Just call Lizzie."
That's funny.
It's cute, I thought.
I liked it. Man, that's good. Thanks, Stuart. This next one comes from John Z, who writes, "I swear at the end of the mid-season finale, there was a boy with curly brown hair who was with Tyrese and the girls running off into the woods. He was seen in several episodes, but I never heard him get a name. Anyway, he wasn't with them in episode 10. Are we just to assume he's dead? They just forgot about him or left him as zombie bait so they could run away?"
I kind of remember that kid, but I'm not sure. There was another kid with them when she shot the woman in the face. When Lizzie shot the woman in the face.
Right,
there was a little boy there.
I'm going to say Lizzie smothered him.
Case closed. Okay. Raylan Zapulas says, "In last week's podcast, there were a couple of comic spoilers given by the two guys that were on. I always skip past comic talk and any news about the comic because I'm reading along with the show. Can you ask guests to try and be the least comic spoilery as possible, please? I know I'm late to the game, but I still would like some surprises." Yeah, sorry about that. That was kind of my fault. There was sort of miscommunication about exactly how spoilery I was okay with between Kirk and Jeff, and I probably should have either said, "Hey, look, absolutely no spoilers," which I didn't, or said once they started doing, I should have said, "Okay, there's going to be some comic spoilers here," and so I kind of messed up, and I'm sorry, and I'll try better next time.
Thanks for writing, Evan.
Thanks for writing.
This next one comes from Evan Shapiro, who writes, "I know the spin-off contest is over. My own fault for not listening between TV episodes because I just found out. Anyhow, what about the setting of Savannah, Georgia, surrounding the life of a firefighter who awakens after a coma-inducing injury into the zombie apocalypse, where he must find his lost wife and daughter? I know it might be a stretch in believability, or even for Kirkman to write. Okay, fine. I just fear change."
I what if it is this? I mean, I'd be like,
really?
I don't know. It can't be.
Really? I fear change too, Evan. I'm with you, baby.
No, I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that, but yeah, I like things like I like things. What?
That's a good saying. I'm going to put that in my bumper sticker. Lauren Galbraith says, "So I was listening to this last episode and y'all were talking about Chandler talking about finally getting to use real guns now. Y'all seem to be slightly confused by this, so I thought I would let you know what I think he means by that. Blanks are a type of ammunition and these are fired out of real working firearms. However, they're still slightly dangerous because there's a charge in them. Blanks lend the most realistic look for firing guns on screen without actually firing live rounds. When they do not use blanks, they use air guns that are modeled after actual guns. They use these have no blanks and no actual rounds, but the slide and mechanism still move when the trigger's pulled. As far as I can tell by what Chandler said, there must be some rule or child work law thing that prevents child actors from firing blanks on set before a certain age. Anyway, I think this is what he meant by his comment. Hope this lends some light on this topic. Yeah, I bet you're exactly right. Yeah, the blanks are bullets, right? They just are different kinds of bullets that don't actually fire, but they're still like John Eric Hexum from Voyager died from shooting himself in the head with a blank.
Yeah. And by the way, when I was on the set, and I don't know if you saw this too, when they were firing rounds on the set, there were shells on the ground, and that must have been. In fact, I took a couple of shells with me, and brought him back to the hotel, and then I thought, how am I going to get this past NSA at the airport? And I got all scared, and I thought, well, maybe I could mail them to myself, and I thought that'd be weird too, because why would I be mailing myself bullets?
You should have just stuck them in your suitcase.
I should have, but then I thought, no.
Or did you have a check-in? Or
I didn't.
Oh,
and so I ended up. Then I thought I can't leave them in the hotel room because that would look weird. And then I thought
you could have went to the agent and said, "I got these from the set of Walking Dead. Can I bring them through?" And they would have said, "Nope." And then you throw them away.
Or they'd be like, "Sprung them."
Yeah, exactly. Alert!
I ended up throwing them out at a gas station.
Oh,
I know.
Okay. Let's see. Where are we?
We are at Michael
Cook.
And by the way, thank you, Lauren.
Yeah, that's very helpful.
Yes, Michael Cook writes, in one of the episodes you recently posted, the two of you were discussing zombies and dreams. After that episode, I had a dream where I was surviving the zombie outbreak. One image that stuck with me was a patch of woods off the side of a dirt road. Dozens of zombies in batches of 2 or 3, all chained together, and the whole group was tangled in the trees. I didn't know if the chains snared them or if they were intentionally shackled. Also didn't know if the entire line of them could, by chance, unwrap from the trees and come after us. They were also brightly painted with spray paint.
I like that last part.
I do, too. Oh, wow, that's really cool, Michael. Wow, that sounds stressful.
Because it's sort of like, oh, interesting, zombies chained up, and they were brightly painted.
Somebody spray painted them. That just seems mean.
All right, let's go into the back and forth. I'll go first.
Okay.
Rudy Ramirez says, who would have thought Bob's bottle of booze would come in handy by way of a Molotov cocktail? I didn't make that connection that when
that it was Bob's.
Yeah, because I guess assume he would have drank it, but maybe it was so soon after. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, cool.
Yeah, it was. Stuart Kearns writes, I love the way Carol drew back as Tyrese ran towards her. Yeah, like, hey, yeah, good to see you, Tyrese.
Laura Nussbaum says, I found it interesting that both of the Green Girls essentially did the same thing, threatened to leave the group they were in to find the others.
Yeah, exactly. Those Green Girls, they're very loyal. And by the way, hi, Laura. Love you, baby. Thanks for writing in. Drea writes, I don't... Agay. Drea.
She's on there.
Can you please tell me if it's
please tell Karen that it's pronounced age.
We'll wait here. La 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 la.
Go ahead.
La, la. Okay. I don't trust your handlebar mustache. Something about you is unsettling. A new villain, perhaps? After what went down with the governor, how will anyone ever trust a newbie again? All right. I don't know if I could trust anyone with a handlebar mustache. I'm just kidding. I actually really dig the hipster doofus handlebar mustache.
Oh, yeah. I saw a couple of those at the, what do you call it, Edwardian Ball.
Of course you did.
I don't think she's in there. I don't see it.
Hipster doofus.
P. Ilani Raquiro says, and this episode felt like a series of vignettes. It was very coherent. I think that can happen. Incoherent. It wasn't very coherent. I think that can happen when it is a writing duo versus one writer.
Yeah, she's probably right. Hey, Ilani, baby. How are you?
I don't need coherence every time.
If ever. Where am I?
Okay, let's move on.
Jamie Dimmick writes... Jamie Dimmick writes 4.786 blah 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 gax. They actually answered the lingering question in 2 episodes. Even the hitchhiker's orange backpack made a comeback. Again, I'm impressed you guys saw that. I did not make that connection, so Well done.
I'd say most people like this episode, but a good many people thought it was boring. But I thought it was amazing. Jokey McFunnison says, did anyone else cheer when they showed Carol?
Yes.
Nope. I was like, oh, cool, it's Carol.
The answer to your question is yes. Other people
Someone did.
cheered. Tori Weber writes, lesson learned, if you got on a school bus and it appears one person on the bus has become a zombie, get off the bus.
That's a good lesson. Robin Young Sanders, 4.8 Herschel heads. Another great episode. And a 42 for the Hitchhiker's Backpack. I think there was a 42 on it, which is a reference to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Because 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. And also Jackie Robinson's number. Which is nice. It's a very lucky number. Marcy Brinker writes, I give it 4 murdered baby bunnies. I do wish AMC hadn't spoiled us by showing Glenn waking up above the crowd of walkers, though, because I could have believed it might be him, at least for a second, that Maggie found on the bus if I hadn't seen that. God, I totally forgot.
Agree.
I completely forgot about that.
Lenny Roger says, whose name rhymes with Kenny Rogers, and he's probably heard that a million times, says, I think Carol will kill Lizzie.
Oh, and game on. Let's see what happens.
Now, what if Lizzie is a killer and they find out that she killed Karen and David? There was already a debate whether that was the right thing to do. But anyway, what if she's a psycho and they can't trust her and she might kill innocent people? Then what should they do with her?
That's a good question. I don't know. What do you do with a cute little girl that's also a psycho?
I don't know. Give her a tree house.
Yeah, exactly. Drop her off at the side of the road with some supplies. I mean, really, what do you do? John,
I don't know.
John Weatherall writes, the only problem with The Walking Dead is that no one is clever enough to make lots of Michonne pets camouflage walkers. All runs outside would be safe. String a heap around your home / prison and they would just walk past. Yeah, David mentioned that too. Agreed.
And every day I'd get up and rub zombie guts all over me.
I know. That's how they escaped from Atlanta.
You get used to it. Gavin, although they're diseased now, so maybe that's one reason not to do any of that. Gavin Provost says, I hate to say it, but I think Glenn is going to die before the end of the season.
Don't say that, Gavin. Don't give them any ideas. Emily Rambo writes, love the episode. Didn't so much cheer upon seeing Carol as simply be glad someone stopped Lizzie from killing Judith, and find it ironic that it was the one person Rick said he didn't want around his child.
Right.
Yep.
I wonder if Rick will find out that Carol did that. Nigel Coleman says, so much awesome. Really enjoyed seeing some, quote, old Daryl. He had gotten too domesticated at the prison.
He was very grumpy. Gavin writes, loved everything about this episode. Looking forward to seeing if there is going to be a love triangle between Glenn, Maggie, and Tara. Oh!
Gavin Provost, by the way.
Who we just read, by the way.
Yeah, sometimes I put 2 in, by the way. Mario Alberto Fierro says, oh my God, Lizzie wanted to kill Shane's baby. All right, that's it for Listener Moans, Groans, and Grunts. Let's move on to next week on The Walking Dead.
Next week on The Walking Dead, episode 11. The title is Claimed. And the description AMC gives, don't worry, it doesn't give away anything, is just when Rick thinks he's going to be able to relax, he's faced with multiple immediate threats. Other members of the group deal with their past. With their past? You'd think they'd be dealing with the present, but okay.
Yeah, they deal with the past. Does that mean more flashbacks, maybe? Or does that mean
that they're dealing with
3 people, the show's
dealing.
These 3 people know them,
maybe
someone
they're
did something bad. Oh, maybe it's about the killer.
Sneak peeks, by the way, didn't really give us much information either. I don't know if you saw any of the previews for next week on The Walking Dead.
I didn't really pay attention this time. I saw a lot of Abraham and Rosita and
see, you even know their names. I wonder if that's going to be their names. There wasn't much.
It is their names. I mean, at least according to the press releases and all that.
Oh, okay. There wasn't a whole heck of a lot, but one thing I thought was hilarious was Michonne unwraps a painting in this house, and it's zombie art. It actually is
really?
hilarious. Yeah, and she's wearing a clean white shirt, and all I could think about was, wow, I'm worried for the shirt. Life is hard on. Life is hard on clean shirts.
Is it apocalyptic or is it a flashback? Could you tell from the...
Oh, she's in the house and she's definitely raided the closet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it could be she's a thief or...
No, she's not a thief. she's making use of the resources at hand. And she put on a clean white shirt. And I'm thinking that is going to be brown by next episode. I guarantee it. Because life is hard on clean shirts in the zombie apocalypse. And the episode is written by Nicole Beatty, who we know she wrote Live Bait and Sick, but and she also has tons of other writing credits, including Sons of Anarchy and John's from Cincinnati, and she has tons of producer creds. And Seth Hoffman, who is going to be her co-writer, who wrote Too Far Gone, and tons of producer creds. So Nicole Beatty and Seth Hoffman, and it's directed by a director named, I think, Seth Mann. I think that's how you pronounce his name. It's spelled like Keith, except with an S. And he directed Home, and he has lots of other credits, including The Wire, Entourage, Dexter, Californication, Nurse Jackie, and Elementary. So, should be interesting.
Okay, you ready to close it out?
I am.
All right, that's our show, episode 134. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Haven't done this in a while, but I thought I would ask you guys who haven't done it yet if you would be so kind as to go on iTunes and give us a rating or a review. If you liked what we've been doing, or even if you don't, it helps us stay up in the charts so more people can see us, and could help us get interviews. And also, I just like to get feedback from people. So if you don't know how to do that, you just go on to iTunes, search for Walking Dead Cast, and click the rating review button. Or you can go to walkingdeadcast.com/about, and the instructions are there. And very much appreciate that from you guys.
We'll talk sexy to you. That's right, baby.
One of us will.
Talk sexy to you.
Yeah, I'd like to contact me like that. I'm just kidding.
That is sexy.
If you want to call us, you can call us at 650-485-3323. That's 650-485-DEAD. And we need more calls. I don't think we got any calls this week. Idris.
We're talking to you. You can write us at brains@walkingdeadcast.com.
You can check out our website with lots of Walking Dead news all the time and information at walkingdeadcast.com. And don't forget to click through our Amazon link on there whenever you shop at Amazon.
We're also on Twitter at Jason and Karen, on Tumblr at walkingdeadcast.tumblr.com, and on Facebook at facebook.com/deadcast.
And I just want to remind you that we have our Walker Stalker Con Chicago contest you can win a 3-day pass. If you want to enter that, you tweet why you're excited about Walker Stalker Con and include at Jason and Karen and